I'm not at all saying that it's all like hunky-dory and roses, because it does at times require a lot of abstinence, and that is a part of being chaste in your vocation. Hey everyone, it's Heather from Buffering Saint. I am a little late on this video, sorry. We are on chapter 16 of the Summer Book Club with the Handbook for Catholic Moms. My book has been through the ringer. I have been bringing it everywhere with me. The topic of this video is like perfect timing because we're just a few days past the 50th anniversary of Humanae Vitae. Don't know if I said that right. The topic is NFP, so it's like perfect timing. And NFP, if you are not aware, is natural family planning. NFP allows families to either know when is the best time to try for a baby, or know when to not try for a baby. If you're either planning for one or you're avoiding having one for whatever reason, it allows you to do that, and it leaves room for God to do it, to do His will. So it as a married couple, it allows you to be open to God's plan for your family. I just wanted to use this opportunity as like a brief overview, I guess, of my NFP story. So I first heard of NFP when I was when we did our marriage prep class, and they taught us the symptothermal method, which is taking your temperature and keeping track of your cervical fluids. We'll just say that because it's nicer than the other word that is commonly used. And keeping track of those two signs to track your fertility and your ovulation and figure out when you're going to ovulate. So that was my intro to NFP. So I think before we got married, I went online to the Catholic Couples League, and I bought like the Natural Family Planning book, and it came with, I don't have the book, or it's hiding somewhere, but it came with, that book, and then the thermometer, so that you can take your temperature every morning to keep track of the thermo part of the symptothermal method. And like I started to try to learn it, and I didn't have an instructor or anything like that. So I started to try to learn it, and we were kind of just of the mindset, like after we got married, when it happens, it happens. And it happened like a month after we got married. So we got married in March, and then in April I was already pregnant. So after Abby was born, we did the symptothermal method some more to put some time between Abby, my daughter, and Jonah, and we spaced them out between about 2.5 years, which is what we wanted. After Jonah was born, we did the same thing, but it was really hard for me to do the symptothermal method, and because it's very subjective, like you have to rely on your own interpretation of your fertility signs. And so it was very difficult because I've nursed Abby and Jonah both for about 2 years, so that probably also helped in spacing out my children since I nursed them for so long. I just remember with Jonah, for some reason, it being very difficult to keep track of my fertility signs, and it was just difficult for me to read the signs and know for sure what was happening. I had started to look into the Marquette method after Jonah was born because I was nursing him, and that was messing with my fertility. I started looking into the Marquette method, but I didn't get it yet because I was trying to look up something that was really good for nursing and reading your signs while you're nursing, and that was the method that kept popping up in my search. That was the easiest and best way to figure out what your fertility was while you're nursing. Didn't do it because it is more expensive. The Marquette method is a little bit more expensive because you have to buy this monitor. As you can see, I did finally do it, but you have to buy this monitor. I got it on Mercari for like $70, which is a pretty good deal because they run about $100, and then you have to buy these fertility sticks in a box of 30, and they're kind of expensive too. If you're like nursing and you're still in, they call it cycle 0, to buy these like every single month, so it can get kind of expensive, but it's still cheaper than a baby if that is what you're trying to do. If you're trying to avoid, it's still cheaper than a baby. And then, so I didn't buy any of this stuff before Juliana was born, so I was still doing the symptothermal method, and we were doing pretty good, and I was getting a hang of it, and then I ended up getting pregnant with Juliana. But I kind of knew, like when I was looking at my charts, and I was looking at when I ovulated, I was like, I'm probably pregnant. So I knew that we weren't like trying necessarily right then, but since we're open to life, like I knew that I probably was pregnant, and I couldn't take a test for like 2 weeks or something. Like I knew that I was pregnant. Like I just did. I knew that it was highly likely that I would be pregnant. And so NFP does work because we use it to space out my kids. And then when I did get pregnant with Juliana, I knew that even though that wasn't necessarily the time that we had planned on getting pregnant with her or with the baby, that I knew that I probably was at that point in time. So that's just a part of being open to God's plan for your life and God's will. So obviously I love her so much, and I did watch the other ladies' videos already, and I really like what a Catholic home life said about Lindsay. I like what Lindsay from a Catholic home life said. Like if I had waited until we were gonna try to have kids, because we were planning on a third baby like later on in the year of that year, and if we had waited, we wouldn't have Juliana. So it's like what God wants for you, not what you want for you. Sometimes they line up though, and that's fine. I did want to say, I forgot to say this earlier when I was talking about the symptothermal method, or I guess I'm still talking about the symptothermal method. So when I was pregnant with Jonah, I read this book called Taking Charge of Your Fertility, and that helped me understand the symptothermal method even more. And it's by Tony Weschler, and it's a really good book. If you want to know more about your body, you definitely should. It's super informative, and I highly recommend it if you're trying to learn the symptothermal method. It's really good, so I highly recommend that one. Also, when I was doing the symptothermal method, I used an app called Kindara, and that was really helpful too. If you don't want to use like the paper charts, I know you can find paper charts online, but I used the Kindara app, and that was really helpful. And then like I said, I got pregnant with Juliana, and I needed something that was more concrete than the symptothermal method, because like my fertility signs are kind of iffy. Like I can do it, but it requires a lot of abstinence on our part, which can get frustrating. And so I found the Marquette method. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and do the Marquette method this time because it's more objective. So symptothermal method is more subjective because you're relying on your own self to do it. And with this, it's like you pee on a stick and you put the test in, and it tells you whether or not you're fertile, so, or like likely to conceive if you try that day. So I really like it for that reason, and you can use it, like I said, to avoid or to have a baby, and that's true for any NFP method. There's a bunch of NFP methods. There's like a bunch. I don't even know them all. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my NFP story. So currently we're doing the Marquette method, and it's been working for us at this point in time. And then maybe sometime when my cycle hasn't come back yet since I've had Juliana, so at some point when that does return, I'll probably go back to symptothermal method. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, like since I got pregnant with Abby, and that was over 6 years ago, I've either been pregnant or nursing or both. So it's like I haven't really had a chance to I feel like really do the symptothermal method to its fullness, because I've always had it like almost irregular cycles since then because of nursing and then being pregnant. You obviously don't have a cycle. So that's pretty much it for my journey. And I'm not at all saying that it's all like hunky-dory and roses, because it does at times require a lot of abstinence, and that is a part of being chaste in your vocation. So sometimes, I mean, it does call for that, and it can get frustrating, and I do believe that it is the best thing to do, because you're not putting like contraception into your body, you're not putting hormones or anything else into your body. But it's like, I'm not saying it's easy all the time. It's definitely can be difficult. So prepare yourself for times when it could be difficult, because it can be difficult. So that's it for my video. Sorry I'm a little late. I should be back on track next week, but we'll see. So, alright, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, like, all those, all those things, and I will see you all next time.